This is the Great Basin prescribed fire weather briefing for Monday, February 10th. Looking at our regional map, we see some burn projects here in the purple across parts of central Utah, Sierra Front, and a few up in Idaho. In terms of precipitation, the past 7 days, it's been quite wet up in the north. The areas in the yellow here, about an inch and a half to 2 inches of liquid precipitation, also right along the Sierra Front. Moderate amounts of about a half inch in to 3/4 of an inch in the northern mountains of Utah, otherwise bone dry as you head further to the south. You can see the percent of normal near 0% here in the red. It's reflected a little bit in the 100-hour fuels being driest in our southern and eastern areas and much more moist heading further north and west. This is the flash drought index, known as the EDI, the evaporative demand drought index. And you can see the sharp delineation here across the southern half to southern third of Utah and Nevada down to the Arizona Strip versus areas further north. You can see that a little bit in our winter snowpack so far. Only near 50% normal in our central and southern Utah mountains, and much less across the higher terrain of far southern Nevada and the Arizona Strip, and closer to normal as you head further up into parts of Idaho and far northern Nevada. Upper level map for this afternoon, Monday afternoon, you can see a trough of low pressure coming in, but a fair amount of dry air entrained with it. The trajectory of this low is coming from the continental areas of Canada, not off the Pacific, but there is Pacific moisture further off to the west. See the ventilation index on the right and the best ventilation in the southern and eastern areas. You can see the surface winds here basically fairly light in most areas, a little bit more breezy in the south. You see the minimum humidities near 10% in the south, but you can see the minimum humidities 60% or higher in northern areas. The transport winds, strongest again in southern areas. The mixing heights, the vertical mixing of how high the smoke will go before it starts pancaking and flattening out, several thousand feet high, where you see the areas in the yellow and orange. You see the scale on the right-hand side. Now for Tuesday, this low pressure trough as it digs down will squeeze out enough moisture maybe for some light snow showers or flurries across eastern sections of the Great Basin, especially eastern Utah. Otherwise still dry but cold everywhere else with the trajectory of the winds coming out of the north. Excellent overall dispersion or ventilation with the areas in the white or even the yellow. You can see the strongest transport winds out of the north coming into southern areas where there's a bit of a downslope effect across areas leading down towards Pioche and Vegas, and also across the parts of the Arizona Strip and far southern Utah. I see the minimum humidities, low teens in far southern areas, 20 to 35% in central areas, and in the 50+% range further north. Quite strong transport winds with that trough. You can see in southern areas, diminishing as you head further north, more of a northerly wind direction or northwesterly. Similar story, very good mixing heights in most areas, good dispersion in this kind of a pattern. Wednesday, again, on the backside of this low, we have dry air coming in, still some lingering clouds and some snow flurries in the Uintas. And we are looking at more moisture coming out of the Pacific, approaching California. You can see the winds still out of the north, strongest in southern areas or northwest, very light further north, and humidities again ranging from near 21% in southern areas to 47 to 55% up in the north. You can see the transport winds also reflecting that similarly Wednesday, and also the mixing heights quite good in the yellow to orange to red areas, several thousand feet above ground level. Now, 3-day precipitation totals, pretty dry in most areas except for eastern Utah, but the next storm system, you see it's starting to approach California and into the Sierra, and that'll be the big weather maker. You see the moisture field literally explodes as you head further into Thursday, and you see the good ventilation. You can see this moisture field again on Friday, covering lots of areas. So we get a moderate to locally heavy precipitation event Thursday, Friday. Temporary break in Saturday, but another wave of moisture Saturday into Sunday. High pressure starts building in, so actually snow levels, although they'll start quite low Thursday, will start rising as we go into Sunday. Precip day 4 and 5. Precip day 6 and 7, we start drying out, but this is the total. So all areas get wetted down pretty good as we go through the 7-day period. The 8 to 14 day shows near normal to slightly cooler than normal conditions in the north, a little warmer and drier than normal in the far south, where you can see the dryness through here and moisture further to the north. This concludes our briefing. Next one coming up this Wednesday. Have a great day.